Hello everyone, this is Wolfclock. So I thought I would take some time to showcase a couple of other maps from the 2002 map pack for Half-Life 2, because specifically I wanted to showcase how some of these maps look compared to the final game, and how there are some similarities and differences. So this map in particular is called D1 underscore sewer 49 underscore 01. There are three of these Sewer 49 maps that are in this map pack, and this first one connects up with the second one. The third one I'm going to have to load manually, but that's okay. More importantly, I want to showcase this map specifically because it's one that got geometry into the final game, obviously. What we're looking at here looks like the canals seen in the final game, with some major differences being the architecture found up here, the size of this canal section over here, and some other details left and right all around. But you can really see that at this point, Half-Life 2 was starting to get some of its known look. Um, there's also some very clear and distinct differences, which, again, like I mentioned in the last video, detailing what was it, Street 401? D4 Street 401? There are some very distinct things that can make you tell that these things were taken from 2002 as compared to them being made, say, in 2003, 2001, yada yada. One thing that we'll really notice in the 2002 era maps is that they have this really almost brutalist architecture. And then on the flip side, we also see some almost, I don't want to call it German-style architecture, but definitely something to that effect. And this level is an excellent example when we look up and out. So we see a lot of things that look very German. We see a Combine soldier out in the middle of nowhere. Not anymore, of course, but don't worry about that guy. I'm sure he's fine. Very many interesting things to take away from these levels, and you can tell during the later portion of Half-Life 2's development, as they're starting to run low on time, they really had to start just grabbing huge chunks straight from older portions of development that didn't really fit the modern aesthetic, and sort of just force it to work. So, without further ado, let's take a look around at this level and see what's different. Now, the first thing I want to point out is listen to these footstep noises. Let me even boost my volume here a little bit to like 0.3 so you can hear that better. I've never heard these footsteps before in my life. I've never heard these used before. This must be like a mud material or something, because it's really hard to jump on. Anyway, this section is something that we do actually see in retail, but you'll notice the door is not here. And that is because, unlike retail, our ticket down is over here. Not through this door, but jumping down directly right here. There's actually a trigger push that pushes me down. This section is not something we really see. Also, these kinds of bricks, this texture and the texture similar to this, you see a little bit of in the final game. Whenever you see that in the final game, it's probably something taken from 2002. Just something to point out there. Anyway, the ladder. This section, obviously something we do see in the final game, but not in this form. There are some trigger pushes that will knock me down into the water down there, so I won't be jumping down there to showcase that. Actually, I've got no clip on, why not? Boom, being pushed down. Yep. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, no. Dear me. Nobody cares. More importantly, we get up here and we go around into this little tunnel section over here. Obviously, these levels don't have an exact way to go, but yeah, usually you can follow some sort of way to go along. As you can see, these large, like, rounded tunnels, really a staple of 2002 Half-Life 2. And we do get to see a number of places that showcase these in the final game, again showing that they were taken directly from these earlier maps, 2002 maps. Here's the level transition, and we are on to Sewer 4902. So again, you can see exactly where this was in the final game. I mean, this is night and day. Was it Canals 02, 03? Very clear. Even has the axe, which I will be killing because they play some really loud noises in this build. This section over here, you'll know that the bane of my existence, the barnacle that's usually in this corner, is not present. Thank God. Really, it's almost like seeing a beta aesthetics mod in this spot, because you can easily recognize this geometry as something from retail, but all the textures and whatnot are completely different. This spot right here is reused not in this location in the final game, but actually just before the citizen encampment. Also something pretty obvious to see there when you compare them side by side. We don't go that way though, we go up and across. I'm just going to click up because I missed that jump. That's a-okay. Let's see what else we have. This section, manhack intro, very recognizable. Also used in the final game, but modified heavily. Used in the late beta. This is in the 2003 leak section. Let's take a look over here. Outside areas, we can get a nice glimpse. That ever famous, ever popular horse statue is there, like usual. But let's hop back in there. Don't think we'll be looking at that. And we go down here into another familiar zone with plenty of manhacks. Manhacks plenty. Just love that noise. Just love that noise. Hate those noises. This section also used in retail, obviously. This manhack also in retail, obviously. We are coming up on the end section for this map. I believe it's pretty much the same place as in retail. Let's take a look over here because this is a section that was removed. Just some more tunnels, really without any direction behind them. Very maze-like these parts of these maps are, but that's okay. As you can see, this is where the transition would be, and let me pause really quickly. I'll switch over to the third map. And we're back on the third map. This is Sewer 4903.bsp. As you can see, there is a level transition zone, but there's no actual transition in it. Yep, these guys are here again. Whatever do without the incredibly loud and ridiculously annoying manhacks of 2002. I mean, I might even live to be able to hear when I'm 80 if it weren't for these guys, so what can I do without them? Now, anyway, this level is very interesting, not because it's something that's featured dominantly or even at all in any manner in retail, but because of what it is used for otherwise. So there are a few other test maps and gameplay maps found, I believe in the 2003 map pack, maybe a couple times again in the 2002 map pack, that reuse geometry from this level. And in addition to that, geometry on this level was reused for the 2003 E3 tech demo, as well as the Counter-Strike Source stress test, and you'll know exactly where that is when you see it, I'm sure. I'll also point it out because, you know, maybe you don't, maybe you won't, who's to say. This was also used as a test map for the ever-famous, highly beloved, but terrible to play against Hydras. And with good reason, too. There's water all over the place. But, This is not the test map, this is just the original version, so this comes in armor, so we can't open it regularly. No hydras, is what I'm saying. No hydras here. Here's the section I mentioned. We'll get a better look at that on the other side. But we need to get to there first. So let's go on over. There's plenty of stuff to explore, plenty of things to be seen. Not all that much to do, but that's okay. Lots of water and very open-ended areas, very rounded. Really loves the use of the dark bricks here. Again, really a staple of 2002 geometry. Tragically, this exists, so we're not going to be seeing much over here. But, let's jump down. I don't know 100% where I'm going either, folks, but that's okay. No need to be 100%, this is a pretty casual video. Alright, through determining that I can't go any other way, I guess we go over here. This is the other side of those rocks that we saw earlier, so that would make sense. I'm gonna get my shotgun out in case any of my manhacks try their thing against me. I'm sure they will. Manhacks are plenty in this map as well as the last few maps. I mean, look at this room. Is that volumetric lighting? I mean, of a sort, with a very highly transparent sprite. I'd call that volumetric lighting. It's just, this looks like something almost out of, like, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, for lack of any better games to come up with. I love the blues. Looks very cool. But anyway, let's not get sidetracked. Let's run back onto the path. I believe we're nearing the end here. Yes. So this section was used during the E3 2003 tech demo, as well as being used in Counter-Strike Source for the stress tests. There would have been the Gordon Freeman stained glass here, all that stuff. This section was that section. And I believe it gets reused in 2003 as well, but that's for another time. Let's see if this actually goes up. No, it does not. Alright, well, we can. Although, tragically, there's nothing to see up here. Well, that seems to pretty much summarize all the things I wanted to showcase in this video anyway, so thank you all for watching, I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. I have a very large video for you Half-Life fans coming out really soon, so make sure that you click that bell to stay in touch with that. For everyone else, and without anything else to be said, I'll see you guys later. Ciao.